Welcome back to PSC's Tech Byte. First of all, let me remind you to subscribe to this YouTube channel by pressing the red button in the lower right part of the screen. Today, I'm going to introduce you the new PnP Provisioning Engine schema version 2022-09. In this new release of the provisioning schema, we introduce the capability to support SPFX form customizers for content types, the target audiencing for lists and libraries. We also improved the modern UI, and specifically we added new properties to the header and footer of modern pages, as well as we introduced support for collapsible sections in modern pages. We also introduced the capability to provision public, private, and shared channels in a team, as well as you can now configure additional privacy settings for a team. We also finalized the PnP Provisioning Schema version 2021-03, and specifically we introduced support for a default localization ID when provisioning content. We support now the site logo thumbnail, the audience targeting for navigation, document set improvements, specifically when you want to inherit settings about shared fields and content types allowed in a document set. We also updated the list of native web parts so that now you can easily provision a modern page with full support for all of the out-of-the-box web parts provided by Microsoft. And last but not least, we introduced the new install or update option for setting up an app in the app catalog. So, like always, let me move to the demo environment and let me show you some of these new features. So this is a sample XML PnP provisioning template, and here you can see that we have the new namespace, which is now PnP 2022-09. So this has been updated to the latest release. If we start searching for the changes that we introduced with 2022-09, first of all, we can see that at navigation level, we now have the enable audience targeting feature, which actually was introduced in 2022-03, but now we have full support at the provisioning engine level. Then at content type level, for every content type, we can configure the display form, client-side component ID, and client-side component properties, and the same for the new form and for the edit form, meaning that using this approach, we can configure SPFX form customizers. Moreover, at the document set level, so still at content type, but inside the definition of a document set, we can now have support for removing fields and welcome page fields as well as shared fields from a content type. Then at the list instance definition level, we introduced a couple of attributes about audience targeting. As you can see, enable audience targeting and enable classic audience targeting. As well as in modern client-side pages, the sections now have support for collapsible sections. And here we have a bunch of new attributes that you can configure or export using the PnP PowerShell command leg to export a template that you can export from an already existing site and page. As well as at the header level in a client-side page, we introduce the show background gradient property. Let's moving on. In the header of the site, we introduced the background emphasis as well as additional properties, and we did the same for the footer, and we improved the options available here to be fully compliant with what is offered by the modern UI of SharePoint Online. And last but not least, at Teams provisioning level, when you provision a channel, a PnP channel, which will be a Teams channel, you can configure the membership type, and the membership type can be public, actually standard, which means public, or it can be private or shared. And if it will be shared, we will create for you a shared channel. And here you can see the available options. In the previous schema version, you were able to just set a Boolean attribute, which was private, true or false. Now we have a three-state attribute because we have three options: the standard, the private, and the shared. So plenty of new capabilities introduced in the engine. In one of the upcoming videos, I will show you how you can easily use the PnP PowerShell commandlet to export and apply a provisioning template. Right now, I wanted to focus on the schema changes and on the syntax that you can use if you want to manually edit a PnP provisioning template. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. Thank you.